Hey class. I am going to go through the homework for assignment problems with you for Unit 3 for our stats class. So let me share the screen with you. This one's going to be pretty short and sweet because we're using that app, the Shiny app that we used in the lecture video, or that I showed you in the lecture video. So there's not a lot of hand computations for this one, so this one will be pretty short. So here are our homework questions, our assignment questions for this week. And you can see they're all kind of the same but different. For a normal distribution with a mean of 60 and a standard deviation of 10, find the proportion of the population corresponding to each of the following. We want to find scores that are greater than 65, scores less than 68, and scores that are between 50 and 70, right? Our normal distribution, so that standard bell curve. And then 2 is same but different, right? IQ test scores are standardized to produce a normal distribution with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 15. Find the proportion of the population in each of the following IQ categories. The genius or near genius category is IQ scores greater than 140. Very superior intelligence is between 120 and 140. And then average or normal intelligence is between 90 and 109. The distribution of scores on the SAT is approximately normal with a mean of 500 and a standard deviation of 100 for the population of students who have taken the SAT. What proportion has a score less than 400 and what proportion has a score greater than 650? And similar, right? Over the past 10 years, local school district has measured physical fitness for all high school freshmen. During that time, the average score on the treadmill endurance task has been mu equals 19.8 minutes with a standard deviation of sigma equals 7.2. Assuming the distribution of these scores is approximately normal, find these. What's the probability of randomly selecting a student with a treadmill time greater than 25 minutes? What's the probability of randomly selecting a student with a time greater than 30 minutes? If the school required a minimum time of 10 minutes for students to pass, what proportion of freshmen would fail? So all these questions are very wordy and they're asking you to do the same thing with different words. So it just helps you get really familiar with normal distributions and standardized scores. So this first one, we're going to say the mean is 60, standard deviation of 10, and we're going to find the proportion of the population that is greater than 65, less than 68, and then between two scores here. So let's start with the first one. Scores greater than 65 with a mean of 60 and a standard deviation of 10. So let me share to the app page that I showed you in the lecture video. So here I have it on normal, right? It's a normal distribution. And what was the mean? The mean was 60. Let me go back and check for sure. Up with and the standard deviation was 10. Standard deviation of 10. And I want to find greater or less than. So if it's greater, I want the upper tail, and if it's less than, I want the lower tail. So back at our question. Greater than 65, and then less than 68. So greater than, so I want it in the upper tail, greater than 65. Look at that, my P equals 0.309. So about 30% of the population for that question. And then the other question was, B was scores less than 68. So now I want to look at the lower tail at 68. 78%. And then, oh, this is kind of tricky. What's it saying? Between 50 and 70. How do I do that? Let's look. We want to look at what's in the middle. Between 50 and 70. Wow, 68%. It's really easy. So I'm only going to do this one with you because maybe you just got all of the answers to that first question and we didn't really do anything except look at the probability calculator. So do that, use your whole brain to think through the other questions and what they're asking. Use the probability calculator, look back at the beginning of the lecture for Unit 3, and you'll do just fine.